everyone, my name is Mara and I'm the founder of Awakening Games, and in this video I want to share with you how we can fulfill our needs and what is the reason why we are subconsciously holding us back. And it's for a good reason actually, until we actually grow through this process and stop becoming, the person that stands in our way. So I have been approaching, life's lessons through many, channels. Like, I have studied the law of assumption. I absolutely love Neville Goddard, and a while back I was listening to Bashar's videos and absolutely adore him. And then so there's a lot of information out there, and everyone and everything is actually saying the same thing. We need to actually do the inner work to get the state, to the version of ourselves that actually is already experiencing the very thing, the very relationship we are wanting. And so how do we get out of our own way? Let's see first how we are blocking our own way. So when we are wanting something, or some specific person, or money, or health, what we are doing, we're wanting and waiting. So this is the version of ourselves that's wanting and waiting the outer world to shift so we can actually experience fulfillment. Now, the reason we can be stuck in waiting and wanting is that subconsciously, because we actually have two fears. So the one fear is to never get our needs met. We're all aware of that one. Now, the second fear, that is a lot more deep and profound and probably scary for most of us, is to actually have what it is we want and then lose it. Have a taste for what it is we're wanting and then not having it. So this is the reason why we have most of these videos, and most of healers, coaches, mentors are creating content on specific people, because after we have actually experienced how it is to be connected with a specific person and have, a deep connection after, losing that person after not actually fulfilling the relationship, experiencing the fulfillment of the relationship itself is very painful. Now, the reason why these things happen to most of us is because the second kind of fear is a fear that actually prepares us for a spiritual growth, an emotional growth that we were not aware of. And this is death. So basically, having something and then losing it is actually an experience as we would experience a death. Never having it is unfulfilling, I would say, but it doesn't push us to the extent that having something we want and then losing it actually, helps us grow. Because the first one is actually a playing it safe. The second fear is actually a fear that now challenges us to get there. So we tasted something, we lost it, now we know we can get there, but we need to choose a different route, which means, and the more we try to manipulate our other reality, the more in suffering you get stuck in. And then once we surrender to this process because it just doesn't work anymore, that's when the magic happens. So we tend to block what it is we're wanting because we're actually so afraid of losing the very thing we were wanting. So a very, very good exercise would be to create titration into the experience of losing the thing or person we're wanting, never being with them in any way that would make it painful, and bringing in as a thought, an emotion, a feeling, and sensation in our body. And this way, actually feeling the loss by being present within our body. And this is the way of healing attachment to the very thing we are wanting, so that we can make the space to allow for it to come in if it is meant for us, or actually leave our reality if it's not, and make space, for what is for us. So this process is really challenging because it's a revelation process. It's a revealing process. It's a process that we're growing, and while we're growing, we do not know where we're going to land and what kind of reality we're going to have manifested at the end of this process. So usually in the past we would be able to cut people out and numb ourselves, or cut situations out and probably logically bypass the very situation. But if you're in a place right now where you can do that, you are very fortunate and lucky, because this means that you are actually on a subconscious level, as a soul, on a soul level, you have chosen to become the very thing you're wanting, which means to grow through loss, grieve the attachment on ever having the very thing we're wanting, and then let go. That's the process of mourning and grieving the loss. Creates the outcome of surrender. So surrender is an outcome that we do not do. It happens through the grief, through the grieving of the attachment on a specific person or situation. The more we allow to grieve and be present with this pain of not experiencing the very, reality we're wanting, we actually get to a place of surrender. So we don't do surrender. Surrender happens through us, through grief. And this is something that I think it's not talked a lot about, how we don't let go. The letting go is the outcome of having grieved the attachment, having experienced how it feels to actually want something and not have it, by being present within our body and feeling the sensations, because this is how we heal our wound or trauma of attachment. Now, this is what I want to share with you in this video. If you want to know more, please comment, please like and share and subscribe, and see you on the next video.